Welcome to the Chronological Bible Journey, where we discover God's whole story one day at a time. I'm Noah, and I'm here today with Michael as we look at Ezekiel 3 and 4, and then a little bit in Jeremiah 27 and 28. It is day 228 of our time in God's Word. Let's go.
All right. Now, we're looking at two different prophets today. We're going to look at Ezekiel and Jeremiah, which I think we've been doing for several days now. Yeah. But we're going to see just some interesting stuff with both of them. So, will you read for us, Noah, Ezekiel 3, verse 17?
Son of man, I have appointed you as a watchman for Israel. Whenever you receive a message from me, warn people immediately.
Okay, so this is interesting. A watchman was, in their time, a very important position. A watchman would be someone who would stand on the walls of the city, and their sole job was to look out and see anything dangerous going on, any armies coming towards them, and if there was something that needed to be announced, they were the ones that would announce to the city, hey, danger is coming. We need to prepare.
Yeah, it was a incredibly important job, but I'm sure it was a very difficult job as well, because for so long, nothing would be happening, but you can never let your guard down.
Right, and I think I would be tempted to take a nap, at different points. But here's the thing. If they didn't announce the warning at the time that it was most needed, then everyone's deaths would be on them.
Yeah.
And so was Ezekiel going to be a physical watchman or something different? And here's what God's instructions show us. He was saying, hey, if you give the people my warnings and the people turn away from their sin, then you and they will be saved. But if you don't communicate my warnings and the people keep sinning, then you are responsible for the people's deaths.
Yeah.
But one last one, if you do communicate God's warnings, but they don't turn away, then Ezekiel will have saved himself, but the people will die in their sins. Yeah. So he's not a physical watchman. He is a spiritual watchman for the people.
Which is so much more important.
Yes.
To warn them about the coming judgment and wrath of God than just a neighboring nation.
Yes, and he is just, once again, another man in the line of prophets to be that watchman for the people. And if we're honest, the people don't really listen to the prophets very well.
Yeah.
Now, God then gives Ezekiel some really interesting instructions in Ezekiel 4. He tells him to take a clay brick and to draw a map of Jerusalem on it. And then he was to build a wall around that brick and then kind of build an enemy camp and siege ramps. And I'm sure he was thinking, where's some Legos when I need them? Because he could have built something really great right there. But it is to be kind of a model of Jerusalem being attacked.
Yeah.
Now, that's really interesting, but let's then read what were some more of God's instructions for him. Now, read for us Ezekiel 4 through 6.
Now lie on your left side and place the sins of Israel on yourself. You are to bear their sins for the number of days you lay there on your side. I am requiring you to bear Israel's sins for 390 days. 1 day for each year of their sin. After that, turn over and lie on your right side for 40 days. 1 day for each year of Judah's sin.
Okay, so once again, if you're a prophet, your life embodies God's messages.
Yeah, the way you live your life is just as important as the words that you speak.
Exactly, because their actions that they take in obedience to the Lord communicates his truth and communicates his message. So he's got to lie on his side for 390 days and then 40 days on his other side. Now, did he do that for 24/7? The Bible doesn't tell us. I'm hoping for his sake, maybe it was just during the work hours of a prophet and maybe at home.
You could clock in, clock out.
But at the end of the day, he could go home. But the Bible doesn't tell us.
Yeah.
But he was the 390 days was to represent the length of the rebellion of the northern kingdom, and then the 40 days, the length of the rebellion of Judah. Now, those numbers don't completely match up to their years of rebellion, but it's to show that the length of time that they have rebelled against the Lord.
Well, what I love about this picture is that people walking by Ezekiel on day 17 be like, what is this guy's problem? What is he? This is ridiculous.
He's really lost at this time.
But you look at it and you realize the ridiculousness of how long God's people have been walking away from the Lord.
Continuing to turn away from him. But then God tells him that he can only eat a certain amount of bread, and he's got to ration out a small amount of water per day. Now, here's why. Let's read Ezekiel 4:16 and 17. Then he told me, Son of man, I will make food very scarce in Jerusalem. It will be weighed out with great care and eaten fearfully. The water will be rationed out drop by drop, and the people will drink it with dismay. Lacking food and water, people will look at one another in terror, and they will waste away under their punishment. So again, his actions reveal God's message. It's going to get really, really hard in Jerusalem. They are not going to have anything to eat or drink. Now, we leave kind of that hard message and we jump over to Jeremiah, and we find that he's in the middle of his own kind of prophet battle, if you will, where he's at, and God gives him an instruction to make a yoke, an oxen yoke, and attach it around his neck. Again, so glad I'm not a prophet. And he then communicates God's message to the kings of Israel, Edom, Moab, Ammon, Tyre, and Sidhom, that God has placed them under the yoke of Babylon. And if they don't fight back, they will be able to live and stay in their countries. But that's a hard instruction to follow. But if they do fight back, then God promises to send them war, famine, disease until Babylon defeats them. Now that seems like a clear choice.
Yeah.
But in reality, if someone were to tell us, hey, someone's going to attack your country and you just need to give up,
it's not going to happen.
that's not going to happen. And so once again, they are given this message: you can survive, but you have to follow God's instructions. And it goes against everything that everything that is conventional wisdom.
Yeah.
But then, because there was another prophet who was saying that Babylon's yoke would be broken, his name was Hananiah, and so Jeremiah calls him out. And Hananiah even breaks the yoke that Jeremiah has made. And so this fight between a real prophet and a fake prophet. And in the end, Jeremiah says, hey, by year's end, you will be dead because your message is false. And what happens? Hananiah dies.
Yeah.
And
it's the test of the prophet. Is what they say, does it come true or not?
Does it come to pass?
Yeah.
And if it doesn't, then you should not listen to him.
Yeah.
And it is such a good reminder to us still today. There are many people who speak in the name of the Lord, but they are not from the Lord.
Yeah.
Their message is not based upon his word. And we as believers must test everything that we hear by God's word to know whether they are actually from God or not. And so that is such a great reminder to me. Everything I hear, I need to test it against God's word to ensure that it is truly a message from the Lord.
And we look at Ezekiel and we look at Jeremiah, and we have these at times that look ridiculous pictures that they have to enact physically. You know, we say we're so glad we don't have to do that, but the reality is that when we follow the Lord today, we look so strange to the world.
Yes.
And we may not be lying on our side for 390 days plus 40, but the way that we're called to live is so different that this world doesn't understand it, and they will look at us like we are strange because of the way that we follow the Lord.
And are we willing for people to look at us like we're strange?
Yeah. That's a great challenge. Thank you so much, Michael, for leading us. And thank you for joining us today. We want to encourage you to share the episode with somebody, whether it be on social media or just texting it to a friend, and have somebody hopefully join on with us as we finish out this year reading through God's Word. Thank you for joining us. We look forward to seeing you tomorrow.